What's the biggest indicator you have a crush on someone? Adjusting my schedule slightly so we cross paths more often. Well, I needed to go downstairs anyway. I adjusted my daily route through school to go out of my way to see this one person. Bonus, the adjusted route was actually shorter. Win-win then. I see this as an absolute win. When I studied abroad I had to take the train to Oxford for one of my classes. I had a huge crush on this girl in my program who had to do the same thing, so I started staying later so I could take the train back with her. Oh, I did the same with a guy I liked, but as a friend, I would always wait half an hour to not have to go home alone. BC he lived just a few streets away from me lol. Back then I was like 10. Yup. Girl I liked had an independent study with my advisory in college. Ends up I started meeting with that advisor once a week before their meeting. We ended up dating about 6 months. Not bad. You just can't stop looking at them. I remember being in the same class with my crush and I tried to sit next to him or look at him and smile at the idea of us being together. We used to have cute eye contacts and I would always look away because my heart would literally explode. Turns out he liked the girl sitting next to me. LMAO. The number of O's shows a pain grade. I was in a class with a girl I liked and it felt like something was definitely there between us. When I asked her out she said she had a boyfriend, so I feel that lol. Same honestly. I never would have had the guts to tell anyone, like in general, but I gotta admit that he made the first classes on the Monday mornings way more bearable. You can't stop looking at them. I have a crush on tacos. I have a crush on my phone. I have a crush on my computer. I have a crush on my ceiling. Same thing happened to me in high school. She sat diagonally across the class from me, so I thought she was always looking back to look at me, but instead she was looking at the kid in between us. They've been dating for like 3 years now, so 3/10 hurts just a little. I'm amazed at how much our situations resemble. The guy sat diagonally across me too. All my friends and I thought that we almost had a thing going on, but he too liked the girl that used to sit in the middle. Our benches seated 3 people at once and I used to sit on the corner. Yeah, I'm with you. I've liked one girl for a year and a half and I'm too scared to really talk to her, though my low social status may be why. You have just described my whole existence. You find excuses to talk to them. You like hearing or reading their name. There's this girl I really like in school, but the diff is every time her name gets mentioned I feel really uncomfortable and anxious, and I don't feel comfortable saying her name either. Weird, isn't it? Is her name Voldemort? In high school I had a crush on this girl and I would be perfectly normal when we would be playing games on Xbox Live, but the thought of actually seeing her in school gave me so much anxiety that I would actively avoid the routes she took between classes, and actually seeing her would make my stomach drop. It was probably because it was the first girl that I actually really liked, but who knows. Either way it gets better with time. Dude, I had the same experience. Over the summer I ended up spending a lot of time with a girl online, but when the first day of school came I was so anxious about talking face to face with her. That happens to me sometimes too. I also get nervous when I see them. I used to do the opposite. Was a very guarded individual. So as soon I realized, I would avoid them like the plague. Till I stopped liking them. Saved me a lot of drama and heartbreak during school till senior year. This guy is Predator 2Y, much like the one that got away. I really thought he was the one. Automatically getting a smile when you get a message from them. I even gave this girl I had a thing with a different notification noise. Pretty sure I Pavloved myself because I still get butterflies when I hear that same tone like 3 years after it didn't work out. Dude, same. All of my co-workers opted for the text tone that I gave my crush 2 years ago. The feelings are gone, but man, that rush of excitement that hits me when somebody's phone goes off is fascinating. Your heart drops and starts beating faster if you see them unexpectedly. Trying to better yourself in even the slightest ways possible to seem more appealing to them. A little bit of blood rushes into your pee when you interact with them. But what if you don't have one? A little bit of juice rushes into your juice factory when you interact with them. Damn it, Juicero, you're not becoming a thing again. Go home. Wasn't connected to Wi-Fi. I can't make eye contact. It actually looks like I'm trying to avoid the person and they usually think I don't like them. I'm a confusing person apparently. Honestly, the seeming like you're avoiding thing sounds pretty normal. Yeah, probably a much more common thing in people. I would think that someone has a crush on me if they acted like this around me instead of being shy. Then play a little game and keep an eye on how they act around me. I used to draw her. I used to lie in bed and make up stories in my head of picking her up at school in my super hot car, getting married, having an amazing life after school with her. The weirdest thing is after school I kept doing this. I just couldn't get her out of my mind. Sometimes I would see her at parties and she would make me giddy. 6 years after school I met a very wise person who encouraged me to track my crush down and tell her of my love for her. So with all my courage I did. A year later I married her. That was 30 years ago and every day I wake up I still pinch myself to see if I'm dreaming. If catch yourself thinking of them and smiling, you are screwed. You are screwed. That's my problem. This step never seems to work out for me. Yes, this is right. I can't stop smiling because I saw my crush and got his number on Friday, and I actually got to hold his hand for a bit. Suddenly all those songs make sense. Yep. I just realized after developing a crush just how many love songs by Billy Joel I listen to. It's spooky. If you can make it through on the street where you live from My Fair Lady without thinking of them, you don't have a crush. Dude, I can't listen to that without feeling like I'm falling in love, even though I've never had a true crush on anyone. This is oddly accurate. I think the biggest indicator is that you get their name in one of those Facebook quizzes. But they're lol, as if it was that common. WTF. Finding any reason possible to talk to them or about them. Plenty of indicators, but the biggest one by far has got to be acting all nervous around them. Honestly, since high school, I always get nervous around attractive people and I don't really see myself having a crush with those people. Maybe it's the anxiety. I always get like this, but with anyone I find attractive. It sucks a lot because then I rarely have decent friendships even if I know it has zero chance of working. I'll start to feel angry when he talks to other girls. Why do you feel angry? Because I'm jealous. Why are you jealous? Because I love him. Then tell him I'm too shy for that. Well, you can't feel bad when he goes after someone else. Just go up and tell him. At least that way it's out in the open, you know whether he likes you too or not, then you can move on. The problem is that we're close friends and I'm scared that I might lose him as a friend, and because here in my retarded community a girl can't confess to a boy BC even if he doesn't like her, he'll use her. A girl can't confess to a boy BC even if he doesn't like her, he'll use her. You say a boy but you're not talking about someone in the abstract. Would this boy do that? If you're sure he won't, then that's not a reason to not talk to him. If you think he might, why even bother being friends? Cause that's a pretty jerky way to be. If you really are close friends, then he'll stick around. And even if you do lose him, life will go on. When the person becomes the center of your universe and everything revolves around them in your thoughts and feelings, that's actually bad, unless of course you are married or dating for a while. If you are young and have a crush, come to realization that you are young. Don't give a crush too much importance in your mind or it will just mess with you. My best friend got rejected by a girl in high school he said he loved, and he probably didn't actually, just thought he did or thought he should, and it sent him into a spiraling depression. You look at them 0.5 milliseconds longer than everyone else. Every time you see them you start smiling like a fool. For me, it's when I start having delightful dreams about them. Not SZL, just the kind of dream where simply being around them is all I could ever want. The kind where you wake up filled with sunshine and rainbows. Then you really wake up and you realize it was all just a dream and you're doomed to only ever live that life while you're sleeping. When they look in your direction and your heart starts beating really fast, you start sweating and smiling. Oh, definitely the sweating. Which was a bit embarrassing, given that she was my boss. Whenever you talk to them or see them, your heart starts beating faster and your face starts feeling hot. I know this sounds cliche, but it's true. Remember this back in high school, was talking to a guy just as a acquaintance, We started saying hi at lunch and stuff and had chats. I knew him since junior year since we had geometry class. He was extremely attractive, got a lot of attention from girls, and I acknowledged that in my head, but felt nothing for him and was already in a relationship anyway. He would do nice stuff, get my books for me, smile ear to ear, and say hi then. But we never had conversations. I didn't know that even then. He had a crush on me, that's why he was doing all of that. He stopped around the time he got a GF. Senior year he started trying to befriend me and talk to me more and seemed like a nice guy. Then one time I saw him walk in during lunch. He looked in my direction and waved like he normally did. I waved back, and all of a sudden I became aware. I could hear my heart beating in my ear and felt it in my chest and my ears felt hot. My face immediately straightened and I said to myself, oh, I immediately knew what that meant.